everybody, and welcome to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I am your host, Wizzy Puff, and with me, as always, is Ross Pitt.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross Pitt. Oh, shoot. I've messed up my recording already.
This is devastating.
I've hit a thing.
Don't hit things.
Don't worry, that thing wasn't the stop button. I didn't mean to. It's so easy to swing.
Oh, boy.
My fist just gets it just gets so excited, you know?
Yeah. I know, I've experienced it firsthand.
Yeah.
Got punched in the eye.
Now, where did you get punched in the eye, Wizzy?
I just said in the eye. Are you listening?
Okay, I set myself up for that one. Where in the space-time did you get punched in the eye, Wizzy?
Oh, well, you see, there's a little bit of a meetup with the Ross and Wizzy.
Oh?
In my home state.
Yes, we met up at your state, Wizzy.
Woo!
And yeah, it was very fun. You're listening to a couple of fresh new people who shook hands.
That's right, we kissed.
We kissed. I said shook hands. I was gonna mention the kissing part after that.
I thought shook hands is like, the new Gen Z slang for that.
No. It could be. Gen Z. Bunch of little fucks.
Man, I love being Gen X.
I know. Anyways. Yep, it was good fun. Let's limit our discussion of it to one topic.
Oh boy.
What should we talk about? What's the story that would get the people pizzazzed? What do you think, Wizzy?
Oh, we got a flat tire.
No, not you, Wizzy. I was talking to Wizzy Thunderburger, the stuffed giraffe that your sister won me at a county fair.
Oh my god.
Oh, and I love it. I love cuddling this thing. It's so nice. He is a baby, and I love him.
He's such a baby, he doesn't even have a neck yet. And he's a giraffe.
Yep. That's how baby giraffes are. I would know. I have another stuffed giraffe toy named Baby Giraffe with no neck.
Very nice.
I love them. What's this about a flat tire?
I was driving us around looking for some nice fast food, driving down the road, and then I'm like, oh, I took a wrong turn.
You technically didn't take a wrong turn. You didn't take the turn.
No, I missed my turn. That's what I meant to say. So I missed my turn, and then I try and turn into the gas station, and I'm like, zoom! The curb eats my tire like a hungry rhinoceros. That thing was useless afterward. I get out, and I hear her screaming for help. I'm like, okay, baby, I'll put you out of your misery. Just get me some parts. And then it looks like we have the parts. I have the jack. I have the new tire. And then I don't have the wrench.
Oh.
We have to go all the way down the block for a wrench. We get the wrench, and then we realize the spare tire, she doesn't have any air in her. We also have to get air inside of the spare.
Dang.
And that's the day where I learn how to change a tire and fill up a tire with air.
Hell yeah. Oh man, you know what would have sucked? If you just did that without me. Or my brother, who was also there.
That would have been devastating.
Guess who doesn't carry money on him?
Oops.
That's okay. I'm sure I've done worse on the road. Hitting that kid was pretty bad.
Ross was very generous in buying the new wrench. And his brother was also generous in buying the air... What was it called? The air gauge, the tire gauge, the thing that gauges the air. And also buying the air.
I was the one that bought the air.
Oh, my bad. Ross bought the air.
Yep. So now you have to pay me $30 every time you take a breath.
I'm Granny Norma. I'm old and I've got gray hair. And I remember when trees were everywhere, and no one had to pay for air.
So the fanfiction.
Ah, yes, that's what this podcast is about. In this podcast, we like to read My Little Pony fanfiction. Today's episode is about a beautiful author named Seer. Today's fanfiction is named A Wish Come True.
Wait a minute, have we read anything from Seer before?
I wasn't sure.
I don't recall, but that name sounds familiar.
I think we may have read something from someone with Seer in their name.
Could be. Well, perhaps we'll figure it out with reading this fanfiction.
A Wish Come True by Seer. Chapter 1, Stolen Dreams.
Pinky.
Maud piped up as Pinky shampooed her mane.
Have you ever thought about something, and then it was real?
Pinky rolled her eyes, but smiled regardless. It was easy to forget how the minds of foals worked. Her little sister was 10 years younger than her, but the gulf often felt like so much more than that. I didn't realize how much younger Maud was to Pinky.
She isn't that much younger.
Okay, that makes sense.
In fact, I think she's the older sister.
Okay, so this is just headcanon.
Yep.
Perfect.
Perhaps it's an alternate universe.
AU.
Bless you.
Hello, everybody. Ross Pitt from the future here. I was just told by my editor, Tom Hanks, yes, that Tom Hanks, that this story in fact does feature an alternate universe tag. I have no idea how I missed this, but it makes me look like a dumbass.
Well, sure, Maud. I think about the sun rising when I'm working on the fields, and then, after a few hours, it happens.
No.
Maud replied. Her characteristic stoicism would have been striking from any other foal. As it was, they'd all gotten used to it.
I mean, you made something just by wanting it.
You mean making a wish? Pinky smirked. What did you wish for, Maud?
Yesterday, I thought that I wanted you to wash my mane for me, and then you did it. If I want something, the next day it happens. Well, that's terrifying.
Oh my god.
Thank goodness Maud doesn't want stuff in her life. Nothing but rocks.
Oh god. See, having no control over your life is one thing, but having complete control is another kind of terrifying.
Uh-huh. It's the difference between me and you, Wizzy.
I don't think that's true, but I want it to be. Maybe if I want it enough. Pinky paused for a second. She had come up with the idea after dinner, seemingly at random. How nice it would be for them to bond. A treat for a well-behaved filly. But now, as she examined it, it seemed like all these rationales were being applied after the fact. But after a moment, she caught herself, and she shook her head and giggled. Minds of fillies. Tell you what, Maud. If you wish for a few bits, I can buy us all some chocolate the next time I go to the shops.
Okay.
Maud replied. A characteristically subtle lilt in her monotone screamed to Pinky her sister was excited by that idea. Pinky felt ashamed. It was something she'd picked up from her mother. Those bitter kinds of jokes. They didn't have enough for any amount of chocolate, and it was unfair of her to get Maud's hopes up like that. Both sisters jolted as the door was suddenly opened. Their father stood in the threshold, eyeing them like they'd done something wrong. Like he was waiting for the moment they did, just to exercise his power to demand they stop.
Oh, Pinky! I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your parent by coming in anyway.
Oh, God. Man. But everyone loves Pinky's father. No, I don't know, actually. I don't know anything about Pinky's father.
He's a guy.
Does he seem like a good guy?
Pinky's family is interesting. None of them, I would say, are bad people. Maybe Limestone, that's up in the air. But Limestone just has some issues that she needs to work out. They all live on a rock farm, so they can be bland.
Well, I guess better than this version of her father. Pinky's jaw clenched.
Bed,
He said simply, and stalked off to his room. Yes, father, Pinky muttered, and started to rinse the suds from Maud's hair. Doodly-doodly-doo. When she was a filly, Pinky loved the farm's rooster, brightly colored, proud, and full-chested, the way his crows carried across all the fields. Now, that sound meant work. It meant dragging her and all her younger sisters out onto the field to plow while their father drank. Now, she hated the rooster. Their mother was no help. She used to be, but one day, a few years ago, she just went catatonic. Now all she did was lay in bed all day. Pinky thought it must have been a life of stress. She didn't know whether she pitied, envied, or hated her mother. Sometimes she thought she felt all three at the same time. The day went by quick. Too quick to really pick anything out. More back-breaking monotony. The same she'd had yesterday, save for the stolen moments washing Maud's mane. When they were finally done, Pinky walked into the house and trudged upstairs, replying with a small, "Yes, father," to his barked order about dinner being in 20 minutes. When she finally saw her bed, she collapsed, but there was no respite even then, as when her head hit the pillow, there was a sharp pain. She knew better than to yelp. She didn't want to disturb anyone, least of all worry her sisters. Pinky frowned and reached a hoof under the pillows, and her eyes widened when she felt metal. It was 4 golden coins. 20 bits. For her, it was a princess's ransom.
I wished,
Pinky muttered faintly, correcting the little voice behind her. Pinky hadn't even heard her enter the room. "Where did you find this, Maud?"
I told you. I wished for it. Yesterday, in the bath.
"Maud, did you steal?"
I wished for it yesterday.
The filly insisted, and Pinky turned to look her in the eyes. They were calm. No hint of mockery or mischief, nor the hot shame of a child's lie. She was telling the truth, or at least thought she was.
It's Maud. You can't tell. Granted, Maud is the type who would never lie, but who knows, maybe she got up into some wild times as a filly.
Pinky really thinks that she can't be deceived by a child.
Oh, Pinky, you've got a life ahead of you. Pretty sure she does get deceived by a child.
Oof.
At least 2.
That's what underestimating children does to you.
Mm-hmm.
Maud, But the child had already gone, toddling off to her next adventure. Pinky turned back to the coins, and wondered whether she even cared where they came from. Whether she even cared they were stolen, because they were stolen. Wishes didn't come true. Doodly-doodly-doo. The rooster stole her dreams from her. That was the main reason.
So much theft.
Jeez. Man.
This farm, man.
You'd think that somewhere out in the middle of nowhere wouldn't have as much people coming around to steal your stuff, but it's just the animals who do it now.
Or the children.
The children are animals.
Wizzy's that kind of person.
Children are animals.
They don't deserve rights.
We must treat them like it and keep them in cages. The rooster stole her dreams from her. That was the main reason she hated it. Every morning, Pinky would be somewhere else, somewhere no one screamed at her, or no drunken, bitter stallion found the chocolate she'd bought for her younger sisters and had gone feral with rage, where he hadn't blackened her eye and demanded to know where she'd gotten the money, whether she'd stolen it, whether she'd debased his family name for it. The rooster took it all away. It took her one safe place and forced her to wake up and protect the only thing that mattered to her. Little foals who didn't know any better, but all Pinky wanted was, for once, to look after herself.
What?
Maud said from behind her. Nothing, Maud. Pinky sighed as she dragged the plow.
You said something. You shouldn't lie.
Please, Maud.
Mother always said that good fillies tell the truth and...
I said I hated the cockerel, okay? Are you happy now, Maud?
Uh-oh.
I said I wanted the cockerel to go away and to never come back and let me dream.
That cock is gonna die.
Oh, no. He's gonna become dinner.
Maud is going to kill that cock.
You really like calling him
I'm gonna
that.
stop referring to it as a cock. Well, shit. It's just because I forgot the word rooster, and I didn't want to say cockerel because I hate that word.
Honestly, it sounds like a fish.
Yep, like a tuna.
Now I want tuna.
So similar words.
Pinky looked around, wincing as the sun glared in her swollen eye. All her sisters had stopped working and were staring at her, scared. Had she been shouting? They couldn't stop working, not when their father could look out at any moment, because then he'd shout, and all her sisters would be terrified, like they always got when he shouted. And Pinky couldn't have that. She couldn't see that. She couldn't be that. They can't be scared of me. Ah! She barked out, forced and humorless. I'm sorry, girls. Plowing all day makes Pinky a bit grumpy. Come on now. Let's just get back to work. Not much longer now. The fillies returned to their jobs, immediately satisfied with the explanation. The minds of fools, after all. But not Maud. Maud kept staring for a while, until Pinky spoke up again. Maud, sweetheart, please get back to work. It's not much longer now, I promise. And after a couple of seconds, Maud did just that, but not before some prolonged stare, communicating something Pinky didn't quite understand. Doodly-doodly-doo. Pinky was on a beach, and there was no one anywhere. There was no one to be afraid of, no one to look after. Pinky was on a beach, by herself, and she was crying for reasons she'd never cried before. Some catharsis, a realization of something she'd only been able to wish for. Pinky wanted this to never end. Pinky wanted so many things. But Pinky wasn't on a beach. She was in her bed, groggily rubbing sleep from her eyes. Fuzz turned piercing and heart-wrenching as the sound of her father's spittle-laden howls filled the room against a backdrop of children's weeping, like finding music in radio static.
You don't have a radio.
Hey! How do you know what that's like, huh, Pinky?
Probably alternate universe bullshit.
Something to do with Maud's powers here. Why were they not in the fields? Did they not know what time it was? Did they not care? Why hadn't Pinky gotten them up? She didn't know the answers to any of these questions. She only knew the pain when he pulled her out of bed by her mane and dragged her down to the fields. And the chorus of her sister's despair only intensified as they followed. Their mother's catatonic silence was like the oblivion of death as her father pushed Pinky into the sun, blinding her. She knelt in the dust and filth, gently weeping as the door was slammed shut. She faintly heard marble and limestone. They were sobbing, but old enough to know not to bother her right now.
Weep, weep, weep.
Is that your impression of their sobbing?
Yes, it's pretty good, I would say.
That was so emotional.
I know. I actually had to dial it back a bit because I was worried that our audience would get too sad.
Yeah, some people will just straight up leave the podcast if it gets too sad. Good call.
Yeah. I've started to get annoyed by those people, honestly. Like, handle some sad stuff. Jesus. And give me money. God.
God, why aren't they paying us?
Jesus Christ. People. Our audience. All awful.
It's not true. I can't hold up that facade for long.
It's mostly true.
It's only like 50% true.
51.
Okay, that's just... How do we have enough audience members to have that kind of percentile?
Well, we did have that many audience members. And then it got too sad.
What a backstory.
The Ross and Wizzy lore goes deep.
We didn't start on My Little Pony fanfiction. We did a different type of fanfiction originally, a much sadder type.
Forrest Gump fanfiction. Hey, Tom Hanks, that's you. Comedy gold.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was Tom Hanks in that.
Yeah.
So instead, they just went to collect their tools. Maud, on the other hoof, remained close, studying her. Pinky could feel her presence without seeing her. Something intangible, like a ghost, like a wish. Maud, please just go and get your tools, Pinky said, fighting to keep her voice even.
Do you wish?
The filly replied, voice as inscrutable as ever. What? Maud, I told you to get your tools.
I wished for you to wash my hair, and I wished for money. And then the next day they came true. Yesterday, I wished...
Maud, this isn't the time.
Do you wish?
Maud repeated, more firmly this time. Yes, of course I wish. You think I like this? You think I want this? No, you don't get it because you're a child, Maud. And in your mind, you make things happen by wishing. Even when you steal money from Celestia knows where. You know, if I believed I could do that too, for even a second, I'd spend all my time wishing. I do spend all my time wishing.
What do you wish?
Maud said again, a quiver of something Pinky would have feared was terror, was she not beaten and bruised and filthy and crying. To be free of this. She spat,
Patoy.
wildly gesturing around to the farm and everything on it. To be free of all of this, Maud. That's what I wish. Now go and get your tools. Maud looked at her again, and her mouth moved like she wanted to say something. But she didn't. She did as Pinky said, because she'd been screamed at, just like Pinky did what their father said. Pinky thought about her beach as she followed Maud to the tool shed. Doodly doodly doo.
What do you think it is?
That was exactly the voice I was picturing.
That's such a marble pie voice.
It's canon now.
Yep.
Marble babbled fearfully. The chicken coop stank.
Oh.
To the untrained, it would have been some nondiscreet foulness. But Pinky had worked her whole life away on this farm. She knew what it was. It was death. No, not the rooster.
My guy, you gave a content warning for trauma and child abuse. Thanks for that, by the way. I appreciate it. But not for animal death?
Seriously.
I can take it, sure. But, seer.
There's this one horror game that has this cute little cat in it. It is tagged like
Oh, no.
not tagged. It is like a content warning death. It does not say animal death. That cat
Yeah, there's
is
a
not
big
safe.
difference between death and animal death.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me, there is also a big difference between death and child death.
Agreed.
But that's a whole other topic of just shouldn't get into.
All right, we have to get back to this animal death.
Yay.
It's okay, girls. Go back to work, she reassured. The day had progressed relatively normally since their spat this morning. They'd even made up lost time. Cleaning up the mess the foxes left would set them back, however. There was no way she was going to make the fillies do this. Once they were safely away, Pinky lifted the roof off and was nearly sick. The chickens were fine. They walked around, empty and vacuous and stupid, oblivious to the rotting putrefied rooster carcass in their midst. It was far too big for a fox to kill, and it couldn't have been dead more than a day. Pinky had watched it last night before bed. How was it this rotten, this decayed? It wasn't possible.
I wished yesterday.
Maud piped up, and Pinky felt her queasy stomach drop further. What? Pinky replied, blanching. We're blanching, girl, we blanchin'. I live up in a mansion.
You told me. You wanted the rooster to stop taking your dreams away. I wished it would.
Maud! No, you. This. The rooster had only been dead a day.
Hey, didn't we just get through that?
No?
They said a similar thing. No, I was just saying it's repetitive.
Ah, okay. It couldn't have been this rotted already. Pinky moved away from the coop and grabbed the filly by the haunches. Where did you get that money, Maud? Tell me, honestly, now.
Where did you get the money?
No, she's going into some kind of a possession.
She's becoming rabid. Rabid Pinkie Pie. Let's make a fic.
Gets bitten by someone who she thinks is the best partier ever.
Oh, damn. Poor Pinky. I wish.
No, you didn't, because if you and this...
Actually, how do horses react to rabies?
I'm not sure. They start doing the funky dance.
Oh, they're actually the only animal immune to rabies.
Excuse me, possums are immune to rabies.
That was a joke, by the way. I didn't look it up.
I could easily smell the deception because I knew that possums don't like rabies all too much.
Nobody likes rabies all too much.
Well, no one as much as possums.
Okay.
Words failed her. The minds of fillies, so blank and impressionable, so untainted by the cruel world they lived in. But it wasn't possible. Maud, I'm not going to be mad, okay, sweetie? But you need to tell me. Pinky promised to tell the truth. Where did you find that money?
Where did you find it?
So I have to get an exorcism on Maud. I don't care if you stole it, okay? Tell me where you got it. Tell me.
I wished.
Maud replied, a rare break in her armor widening as tears brimmed in her eyes.
Yesterday, I wished for Mr. Rooster to go away so you could dream. The day before, the money, I wished for it. I wished, Pinky. Like when I was small, and I wished, Mum, you're not British. Oi, governor. Like when I was small, and I wished Mum would stop crying all the time.
No, it's too much inflection, too much emotion for Maud.
like when I was small, and I wished Mum would stop crying all the time, like I wished you would wash my hair, like I wished you'd be free.
Maud, I'm not going to be mad, okay, sweetie? But you need to tell me.
What are you on about?
I could totally picture Helena Bonham Carter as freaking Pinkie Pie. Even if it did turn out she was a transphobe.
No, I forgot about that.
Yeah. What do you mean? Pinkie asked, feeling cold. What do you mean you wished I'd be free?
Like you wanted, like you said.
Maud replied, sobbing now in earnest.
Sob, 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 sob.
Pinkie chewed her lip, feeling somewhere between stupid and terrified and desperate, because her mind was an adult's and she didn't believe in wishes. But she cared more about the safety of her sisters than her stupid adult's pride, so she acted like a filly. Undo it, Maud. Undo the wish. I don't want to be free anymore, Maud. Understand me?
It doesn't work like that.
Maud replied, tears mirroring those that poured down Pinkie's face as they grappled, desperate, steeping in the odor of death.
It's one thing a day. You should have told me yesterday.
Pinkie dropped her and sat breathless on the field. Marble and Limestone had heard the commotion and started to cautiously trot over. As soon as they saw the tears, they started too. All of her little sisters, all still children, cried as Pinkie tried to compose herself. A small part of her wanted to order them to get back to work. But somehow, holding them all, with no care for whatever drunken, violent eyes stared at them from the house,
When violent eyes.
felt more appropriate this time. Doodly doodly doo. There was no sound, for the first time in so long, and when Pinkie's eyes finally fluttered open, they did so of their own accord, unmolested by roosters or drunkards both. The events of yesterday felt like a blur, but when she remembered them, Pinkie sat up in panic. Only there were no sisters to apologize to, no roosters to steal her dreams. The room was empty, save for 3 small beds. One was too hard, one was too soft. The last one was just right. I wish that Maud had wished for it to be the 3 little bears.
That would have been
Wait,
better.
3 little bears. What am I?
Wait.
3 bears.
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Pinkie clambered out of bed, clumsy in her terror, and ran downstairs. For the first time in her life, she prayed to see her mother or her father, but they too were gone. The house was vacant. Outside, the fields were unruly. Nothing would grow here. This wasn't even a farm anymore. This was a wreck, suitable for only abandonment. Nothing was tying her now. She'd wished to be free yesterday. She was free today. She was alone. And all Pinkie could do was slump, inconsolable in the dirt, mourning for 3 fillies and their beautiful minds and wishes. She didn't move until she fell asleep again, and as always, she dreamed. But this time, she wasn't on a beach. No, she was eating dinner with her sisters, with parents that loved them, that protected them. She saw their smiles. For the first time, they were free to be fillies, but it wasn't real. She wanted that kinder world now, because freedom was bitter, because she still wished. but she had an adult's mind. And that was A Wish Come True by Seer. So Maud, killed everyone.
Well, yeah, kind of. Can't say I blame her.
So do you think she just killed the whole family or everyone?
Well, Pinky's alive, so she didn't kill the whole
Yeah,
family. But no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe she only actually killed Pinky. Maybe it's just like a form of the afterlife that Pinky's in, and she was the only one who died.
Oh, kind of like string theory.
Yeah, maybe. What's string theory?
Like multiverse theory.
Oh, right.
Multiple universes. Every universe exists. Every possible universe exists.
Right. No, not like that at all. But I suppose, yes, you could make it like that, but that wasn't what I was thinking, no.
Well, anyway, it's a bad ending for Pinky. When did she get a happy ending in any of these?
My God, we don't have any happy Pinky. I guess there was that one Rarepie fic we read where they did get back together, spoiler alert.
But it was still sad for her because they were super bummed about their relationship throughout most of that.
Yeah, but it was a happy ending.
Yeah.
So that was one.
That one was sort of the opposite of no, I won't say the opposite of this one. The opposite of... No, most of them are just sad throughout.
Yeah, Pinkie Pie's stories are not happy. Which, yes, that is ironic. Maybe we should read a fun Pinkie Pie story once.
Yeah, best one we got is...
But I like the irony.
The best Pinkie Pie fic that we had read is Fluttershy goes into outer space or whatever. Gets sent into outer space, I think it is. But I said Fluttershy. I meant Twilight Sparkle gets sent into outer space.
Oh. Okay, then yeah. I wouldn't know. I still don't remember Twilight Sparkles in Space.
Yeah.
I'll assume that's right, and it's actually a Pinkie Pie story instead of a Twilight one.
It's
Actually, I guess that
50-50.
Rarepie one was more of a rarity one, so I guess we could still count that as a Pinkie Pie story because the Rarepie one was also a Pinkie Pie story in my mind. So sure. Anyways, this fan fiction was alright.
Yeah, I thought this one was written so well, honestly.
It was. I definitely think that it was good, but maybe it's just my mood right now. I wasn't as into it. Maybe going over to your crappy state with its hills, its big hills, and its frickin' weed, maybe that just tainted my mind a bit. But,
man,
or maybe it's the time of night we're reading it.
I get it, because this takes place in a rock farm where there's no life, and you got it spoiled by experiencing a place where there is life.
That's probably it. I wish I was more into it. I might have just been, wasn't my cup of tea, or just wasn't, a good day for me to read this. I don't know. What do you think, Wizzy?
I thought it was a lot like the Pinkie Pie version of To Try for the Sun, in a way. She's like the big sister. She has to be taking care of them in this hopeless situation. Only in this situation, it does not have the beautiful, happy ending.
Holy cow, is this actually more depressing than To Try for the Sun?
Yep, pretty much.
It certainly ends worse.
It's like if Celestia, instead of pulling the sun closer to warm the planet so they wouldn't have forever winter, she accidentally pulled it too close and it burned everything and killed her little sister.
Wow. I tried too hard for the sun.
God. She's a try-hard. Maybe she relaxed more often.
Yeah, hopefully I will enjoy this story more in the future. I think it was well written. A bit of it was, I don't know, I guess just sort of the same stuff.
Yeah, kind of.
Repetitive is the word I'm trying to say.
I felt like some of it was trying to set up the whole process of how her wishes work and proving it to Pinkie Pie, but they didn't really stick the landing exactly. I feel like they could have explained everything a bit better and had it, I don't know, be a little bit more clear exactly what happened at the end.
Yeah. I think it might have been nicer if it was a bit more surprising about the wishes thing, although I don't know how you would do it and still make that like a short story like this. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Dang, Pinky.
So, does Maud actually, like, never react to anything?
She often does not have reactions. I think the most we see is when she smiles. Just a bit smile, you know?
Aw.
She only gives those in very special circumstances. Like, when does Maud smile? Right, when she has her boyfriend. That's one. She might have smiled when she made friends with Starlight.
Man.
And I think she smiled at Pinky's antics once or twice.
Yo, if she's played by the same person that plays May from Avatar, that would be awesome.
No, we've had this discussion before.
It would be awesome, though.
No, wait, we might not have.
Just look at her hair.
I know we've had a discussion about Maud's VA before. Oh, no, wait. I was thinking of Spitfire's VA. Never mind.
Yeah, that's who I want to be, Jane Lynch. That was it.
Right. Still not Jane Lynch, though.
Would be a good one.
Maybe later. Anyways, the story's a story. It's a good story.
It is a good story. And you guys can find a link to it in the description, so you can go ahead and read it for yourself.
Son of a bitch, we didn't say it.
Yeah. You guys can read it for yourself, or you can give it a like. I'm sure that they would like that.
It shouldn't be you can give it a like. Give it a like.
Yeah, you have to give it a like.
Coming over here, listening to us read it, when you could have read it for yourself, give it a damn like. I wasn't even a big fan of this story, but even I gave it a like.
Exactly. Well, it has been a very good podcasting night.
Yep, it has been.
But we must retire once again.
Aw, Wizzy's retiring. He's so old.
I'm 47. That's old, right?
Yeah, that's pretty old. Retiring age at least. Of course, Wizzy doesn't actually get to retire with the income he makes, so
in this economy,
he will have to deal.
All right, you want to say goodnight to the people?
Yep. Good night, every people.
See ya!
They have roosters?
Apparently.
Or, I'm sorry, they have rooster.
Yeah? Maybe it was a
Huh.
rockster, you know?
Ah, could be. Just a typo.
Oh, it must have been the cock of the rock.
Hot.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Hey, man, that is exactly the type of thing that Maud would like.